Hello, you guys. Welcome back to another episode slash video on this podcast slash YouTube channel. Whether you are watching me here on YouTube or listening on Spotify, welcome or welcome back. As always, hello, everybody. Happy spring equinox. Happy spring. Happy blooming season. Happy eclipse season. A lot of times we don't like to put happy with eclipse, but at the end of the day, it's for the best. So just ride the wave, drop who you need to drop, cop who you need to cop. And yeah, but I don't know about you guys. Like, I've talked about it probably in like the last couple of videos how the astrology of right now is. But at the end of the day, I'm feeling good, much better this end of March versus how I was feeling at the beginning of March. And I wish that energy on all the other people watching this video. Today, y'all, I would like to talk about this thing, this thing that I feel like is so important in all of our lives, okay? I've touched on this topic a few different times, in my videos as I do healing, especially like the past summer when I was telling you guys about all my dating and my almost 2 years of singleness and blah blah, the importance of showing up as yourself. I talk about both sides, the importance of it, which is what the world tries to tell you, be yourself, be yourself, be that's what they tell you from the jump. But they don't tell you how hard it is to be yourself in a world like this. Okay? They don't tell you how hard it is, especially the more you grow up. They don't tell you how hard it is, especially as a person who has some intersectionality. Me, as in being black and being a woman. Um, it's a whole lotta. But ultimately, at the end of the day, the more we grow and blossom into our full selves, we learn that despite how hard it is to be ourselves, we got to, because it only leads us closer to the path. That's basically what I want to talk about today, specifically in dating, because I'm reflecting on my past when it comes to this, and I want to like share some insight with you guys. Specifically, like I said, thinking about my own experience, but even like a TikTok I made a couple weeks ago got like a lot of likes, where I was basically talking about how I won't ever mask on first dates these days because no, like I'm a weird ass bitch. I'm strange. I make noises. I do a lot of weird stuff, and you gonna see it. Like if you're like, what is she like? Why is she do? Okay, but like, come as your full self or don't come at all. Is how I feel at this point in my life. And I feel like that's literally like this specific thing is what a lot of us think about growing up too. Like we're all like we're so weird in our homes and by ourselves and our interests and our mannerisms, and like you go to school and like when you do that you're weird or no one talks about it. Bitch, we're all weird. We all do like, I don't know. Let me just get into it. So as I stated in, I don't know, like my last couple of videos, I'm back on my singleness journey. Um and it's led me, obviously when you go through a breakup, you reflect a lot about what happened, the journey, how it all came to this and all that. And, one of the things that was a huge issue in my last relationship was my partner, my ex, did the opposite of what I'm talking to you guys about. Okay. He did not come as his full self. And I'm not even saying, most of the time when I say coming as your full self or being yourself, a lot of times we're talking about personality, mannerisms, the way you handle things. And for that, I can give him credit where it's due. I generally saw the type of person he was from the jump, but as we know, like it progresses the longer you're with someone. Obviously, you don't know everything the first couple dates, the first month. You see people go through different situations. I'm talking about this person didn't come as his full self as to what his life was like, what his life situation was like. Okay, I'll share more and more as I'm ready to share, because all of you guys' jaws are gonna drop just like anybody else I told this story. But basically, my ex lied about his living situation, his financial situation, stuff like that. Okay? at the beginning of the relationship, he made it seem like his life was this way and he had this and this wasn't anything to him to spend this money or whatever, whatever, right? He made his life seem like something it wasn't. That's basically what it was, which is actually very stupid to me because I'm someone who I've never, I think I've told you guys how I grew up. I grew up two-parent household, parents are together, college sweethearts. And I grew up in a household where the dynamic is definitely not balanced in my house. Like, it's what my mom says goes. I know for sure, like, that my mother has a better job than my father. She makes more than my brother. Like, it's common knowledge. But I've always seen still a balance. A man who supports his woman, a man who encourages women, a woman who, it's like always been equal. I've never seen any envy or holding it above each other's heads. That's just, I grew up in girl power. Okay, so when girls talk about, oh, I would never do 50-50, I don't know, when like girls look at men for what they have or what they spend, I've never really looked at men like that, especially because, like I said, I have my dad who is the greatest, is literally the greatest. Like I said, very supportive of my mom, been there every step of the way, blah, blah, just as a person. And so I've always thought that's mattered more. As I'm growing up and going from situations like this, I realized, again, I'll never expect a man to be Superman, have everything all together. I'm 22, by the way. Why would I expect you to have everything figured out when I don't? You know what I'm saying? But I'm realizing the older I get, I do need to consider those aspects a teeny bit more, especially after this. Ultimately, in the relationship, one day I found out that he was lying about his living situation and about his financial situation, and that he really had nothing, like nothing. Um, and I was so angry because, one, if you guys know anything about me, you know I hate a liar. Okay, I'm so traumatized from liars in my past, and although in my past it wasn't a lie like this, I don't like lies in general. Bitch, don't tell me you got a burger with mayo on it when it was really ketchup on the burger. Don't do that. Because why you lying? Why you lying? So I was obviously really mad when I found out someone was lying. And normally, should have stuck to my roots. Normally, I would cut someone clear out off for lying. You lie about anything, you're done. I was strict. But with this lie, I was like, this is different than I've ever been lied to. Like, that sounds so funny. I was like, this isn't an easy thing to say, especially to someone you're trying to pursue, someone you just want a chance from. It's something you could be ashamed of. So I was like mad. And like the reason I stayed with him is because I was like, I get it. I understand. How are you supposed to tell this person, blah, 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 blah. I understand, but I was a little too understanding, right? I still think that should have been cut, and here's why. So when I found out he was lying, we got an argument. I was mad. I was like, you know how I feel about lies and how traumatized I am from this, and why would you lie? And his whole argument was like, I lied because I wanted a fair shot with you. Like, if I would have told you my life was like this, you would have judged me or you wouldn't have even talked to me or blah, 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 blah. And I wanted like a shot, and I didn't want to like open up that quickly and all that. And that had me extremely messed up because of how I just told you guys I feel. I feel like when you're dating someone, you want someone, you're pursuing someone, come fully as you are, or it's going to crash and burn, which is literally what happened in my last relationship. So he's talking about, that really stuck with me. I wanted a fair shot with you. I wanted a shot with you to not be judged and all that. And I'm like, you lying about your life and your situation, talking about how you wanted a fair shot and you wanted a shot with me so bad. You realize how unfair that is to me? You're not giving me a fair shot by concealing yourself and lying about things. That's not giving me a fair shot because I'm thinking that you're this one way, blah, blah, and you're not. And you know, some men, Virgo men, Virgo men. All my exes are Virgos. I know it's terrible. They love to, but I. So he really didn't hear me when I said that. Like, but I'm sure you guys do. You wanted a fair shot with me, so you lied and you concealed parts of your lives. But you're not giving me a fair shot because you're giving me an illusion of who you are, which is not who you are. But you don't care about that because you just wanted your fair shot. Okay. So yeah, he keeps reiterating these things. You would have judged me. You wouldn't have not talked to me. You would have, and all these things could have been true. And what I'm thinking in my mind when he's saying this is, I'm like, yeah, yeah, because you know what's giving me a fair shot, getting at me and saying, hey, this is actually my living situation. This is actually what my life is right now. It's not the greatest, but this is take it or leave it. That's what I think love and relationships are. It's about taking risks and showing up fully as yourself and being vulnerable, and it can only grow from there. So from day one, he would have said, this is actually my living situation. This is actually my life. This is all of that. And I would have been like, wow, okay, that's a lot. You don't really have anything to offer me. Like, you're in a tough spot, but I still want to get to know you. Then that would be on me. Then that would be on me if I wanted to do that. But guess what? I didn't do that. I didn't do that because I wasn't told the truth. So I was the blind leading the blind, thinking something was this way and something was gonna be this way, and it wasn't. Talking about you want a fair shot, you got your fair shot, and I didn't. He's talking about, oh yeah, but imagine if I did, and then we just would have dated, and you wouldn't even got to know me. Again, what do men not get? Yeah, yeah, because like I said, if I heard that and I didn't want to deal with someone who was in a spot like that, then I wouldn't have dealt with you. I wouldn't have known you. It wouldn't have mattered. Like, what do what do boys not understand about that? Sorry, I'm being harsh and I'm getting I'm getting a little irritated remembering this bullshit. So this reveal of this lie, like I said, didn't actually lead me to leave him like I should have. Um, I decided to stick with someone I loved in a hard spot because I already had feelings, all these other things. And like I said, I to a point, but I'm trying to stop being so understanding because these niggas don't want to be understanding with me. Like I said, I understood. Like, how are you supposed to tell someone all that off jump? You're supposed to still tell them, but I understand it's a hard task. So I stayed with them. But that ultimately was one of the hugest problems of the relationship and ultimately led to the downfall. He did not come as his full self. I thought things were one way. I got caught up in the mix. I found out they were one way. We tried to make it work. It wasn't working because you started it on a foundation like that. And that's not reliable. That's not reliable. Okay? So I think showing up as yourself in all shapes, sizes, forms, ways is literally so important. Like, I'm a firm believer that it can only lead to disaster, especially from what I've been through. And I mean, I've had other people mask who they are before in different ways. Y'all know that I've had a relationship with a super nice guy, opens the door, blah, blah. Okay, he got me. Okay, he got me. As soon as he got me and I'm in love, okay, I don't need to do all that anymore. I could just be a normal, mean, standoffish guy. Yep, I've had a guy cosplay a good guy before. I think, girl, I think all of us have been through that before. And let me know if I'm wrong, cuz I feel like I don't know if it's like the media or what. I feel like I've definitely seen love stories or stories like this succeed before. People try to be who they're not, and then they find out, and then they make up like a Disney movie. Like, oh my God, that literally just made me think of Aladdin. Like, Jasmine, I'm so hurt. Do y'all remember that scene where after the magic carpet, where Jasmine yanks the hat off him and was like, "Boy, I knew you were lying about who you were the whole time. Like, you think I'm stupid?" And he decides to lie again and say that he's really a prince, but he was just being a peasant for. Why do all you guys do is lie? You got kind of lie. You just made up another lie. Get it. But in that story, they worked it out. And I'm sure that could be some other people's truth, or at least for the moment. But my personal opinion is I feel like, at least the type of person I am, you can't come back from that. And I'm glad that I had this experience in this relationship to learn. Because, like I said, I'm a lover. I love to try too much. I love to try with people because I don't regret anything I did or any trying or trying to compromise or love that I gave any of the men from my past, because that's what you do in relationships. When you care about someone, you want to try to see things through, you want to try to work out the quirks and all that. But I'm realizing, like I said in my last podcast episode, more and more what my limits are. Like, I'm glad I tried it. He tried it, but it didn't work. So now I know for the next one, don't try it again. And I'm talking about romantic relationships right now, but I feel like every single person can relate. Maybe in like middle school or high school, we've all tried to be something we're not and had friends. Y'all, guys, in middle school, I was that black girl in an almost all white friend group. PWI people, I feel like you can relate to me. I had one other person of color in the group, Crystal. Hey, the only one I'm still friends with to this day. But like I remember just trying to act like I'm not into certain stuff or I'm this way, and like it was very easy to let those friends go. It was very easy, like, you're not happy and you don't find your real peeps unless you show up as yourself. And I fully believe that in any aspect of life, friends, relationship, job. And I like literally on the TikTok I made about masking on dates, literally I got comments being like, literally my boyfriend is the first time I just showed up as myself, and like this is like the first fun relationship I've had. Because literally, like, I feel like what people don't understand about masking and hiding parts of who you are is, baby, especially in romantic relationships, it's going to come out. It's going to come out. It's going to come eventually, whether you like it or not. It's gonna slip. It's. I'm not gonna lie, y'all. I feel like the older you get and the deeper you fall into your true self, I feel like it's also easier to start seeing when other people are masking. Like, y'all, I think so often these days when it comes to men who approach me, I just be feeling like, boy, you wouldn't know what to do with me. Like, seriously, seriously. And I don't mean that in like a, you wouldn't know what to do. I don't mean it like that. I literally mean with like my mind and the mentality I'm in at the point of my life. Like, you wouldn't know what to do with someone who got that emotional intelligence, who's gonna hold you accountable, who's gonna come as her full self and expect you to do the same, and who's gonna hold her boundaries and not back down and not set. You wouldn't know what to do with that. Um, and I'm kind of happy that a lot of men wouldn't. Because literally, I think showing up as your true self, I mean, I can't speak for everybody. I can't speak for divine timing. Like I said, manifesting and all these things don't always come on your time. But I swear, I feel like it cuts out a lot of BS that you could have dealt with when you just shine through and you be your true self instead of trying to mask and fit in things and settle with things you don't want. I don't know. To me, I personally just believe that's what does it, and that's what pulls you closer. And I hope, even though like I just said, I'm like post a month out of a relationship, my third adult relationship, I still believe it. I still believe it. Like I talked about in my last podcast episode. Although when I'm in love and I have these things that I want it so bad, I want all the things, I truly believe like me letting go and letting that situation be gone, letting it lay to rest, I'm only getting closer and closer. What did Tiana say? I'm only so what's meant for me. So yeah, I just like to say that to anybody watching. Be yourself, and not in the ways, the sugar coated ways that school and adults tell you as a kid. Fully, fully. If you're into that, say that. If you like to dress like this, dress like that. Okay? Cause who cares? Who cares? People be worried about weird people. Why don't we worry about? I'm from California, so weird has two very different meanings. Weird when I'm saying just stuff people think is weird, but also why don't we worry about the weird people? The Cali slang literally means weird. It's like calling you a bitch. The people who actually do bad things. people are weirdos. Why don't we worry about that instead of just the quirky, funny, awkward, goofy people? Like, what? We all got it in us. So let your shine, baby. Like I said, especially intersectionality people, my peeps, black people, y'all judge us for doing anything. Y'all judge us for being ghetto, and then people judge us for not being ghetto, and then like literally our own community judges us for being in a different stuff. Like I love being on TikTok and seeing alternative black people. Cause period. I know y'all get bullied for being like that, but I love to see. I feel like we're baddies and we fit in every single space, and I love you guys. Speaking of intersectionality, this is really random and doesn't have anything to really do with the podcast. But y'all, today, I went on a solo movie date and I saw Snow White. 11 out of 10. 11 out of 10. And all the haters hating and being racist to our beautiful princess. Okay? She ate that. Mind you, first of all, I'm like, where do all these Snow White lovers come from? Baby, that's an old ass cartoon. I've never heard a little girl say her favorite princess is Snow White. Chill on her. Chill on her. I've literally never seen that cartoon in my life. I've only seen parts, but I literally want to watch it just to support. Cause period. She ate that. She ate that. Stay mad. Stay mad. Also, I tell you guys that I grew up PWI, but I'm from Southern California. Yes, where I grew up was majority white, but the next majority was Mexicans, Hispanic people. So I also, to me, just growing up around that community, it really touches my heart to see her because she's so beautiful. And like I said, I grew up around a lot of Hispanic people, and it's so beautiful to see her as a princess. Like I literally heard tears and little girls all up in that movie theater. Representation really matters, and I love to see her. I love the movie. And like I said again, now I'm just talking about people of color, minority groups, because I'm not Hispanic, but we belong everywhere. Go see that movie and fight a racist who has something to say about her today. Thank you guys for watching / listening to this podcast episode. I hope I said something meaningful that you can take away from this episode / video. Please check out my other socials, a link down below. Like, comment, and subscribe, and check out the rest of my channel. Thank you guys so much for making it to the end of this video, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Bye!